So as a dealer, sometimes you're going to make an error. Let's hope you make as few as possible. The least amount of errors you make, the less players are going to question you. But say you made this kind of error. You did a flop and you forgot to burn. They're going to say, oh, you didn't burn. You don't have to bring this back and redo a flop. You just have to backtrack. Now, you would think that this would be the burn, but it's actually this one, okay? So when you're doing a flop, this is always going to be your top card in case you forgot to burn. And let me show you why that is. Look, this is our top card, deuce, right? So 1, 2, 3. Look where the deuce is. It's right here. So this is your first card, second, and third, because when you spread it out, that's how it works out. You think it would be this, but it's this card right here. Let me show you another example. Right? This is our top card, queen of clubs. There it is, right? So if you forgot to burn, you're going to show them, hey guys, look, first, second, third, you're going to show them because they're going to question you, hey, that's not your burn card, and you're going to say, see, yes it is. So this queen of clubs you announce as your burn card, and just put the next card right there, and then you can continue on with the hand. Now, say on the turn, you forgot to burn. That's where you forgot to burn. So you know you had your action and you just turned it over and they're going to say, you didn't burn. You're going to say, you're right. 5 of diamonds is the burn card. Put it in the order where it goes, which is right underneath the first one, and just turn over the next card. That's as simple. Or if you forgot to burn on the river, oh, no guys, that's my burn card. And there you go. So that's simple, you know, that's an easy fix. You don't have to misdeal. As long as you show the players, hey, let me just relax. Let me show you why that is. They'll never question you. If you always back up what you're doing, players aren't going to question you. There's, you know, the mistakes that you want to avoid are premature, not burning. But the most important thing is not making sure all the bets are correct, okay? If you don't make sure that all the bets are correct, and then you go ahead and do the flop, that flop's not going to play. You got to put it back in your deck, for instance. Let me give you an example. Okay, so you dealt out the cards. It's up to him. He calls 2. He calls 2. You go option. He goes no option. You didn't even go to this guy, right? You bring in the bet, so he didn't even call a complete bet, right? You're like 4 players. And he goes, he didn't even call the $1. Well, guess what? If the betting isn't correct before that flop, this flop doesn't come into play. So you're going to turn it over and you're going to say, sir, do you call or not? So either calls or raises. If he raises, then you're going to continue on and make sure everybody calls. Now, he owed $1 and he raised 3 more. So everybody owes 3, right? So you're going to bring in those bets. Then what you're going to do is, okay, guys, now this burn card doesn't get reshuffled, just the flop. You're going to say this has to get shuffled back in because that was incorrect. Doesn't matter about the burn, you just keep it there. Do your regular shuffle, shuffle, box shuffle. They're going to say, what about the burn card? You're going to say that doesn't get put back in the shuffle. You're going to burn again like you were supposed to. So this, in this case, instead of having 3 burn cards, you're going to end up having 4. You're going to do your flop. And you're going to know as a dealer now, making sure everybody's bet is correct before you turn over that other card. It's the worst mistake a dealer can make is premature action on a dealer's part. And it's very simple. How can you avoid that? Look at every player who has cards and make sure they either call the bet, call the raise, or fold. It's as simple as that. Now, if you have a player, which is another thing, it's called calling the clock. Say you have a player and it's on him and it's taking an hour. You as a dealer can't call a clock on a player, but a player can say, okay, clock, what is a clock? Normally, if a player calls clock on another player, it's because they've taken an extraordinarily long time to make a decision. And normally, somebody that is holding the home game will take out a stopwatch and give that player 10 seconds to act. Or they will give you the stopwatch and tell you to start it, okay? Once a player says clock, he'll have 10 seconds to make up a hand. If he hasn't made a decision, he will have a dead hand, okay? And I'm sure you've seen that a lot on television. If you haven't, that's exactly what happens.